Hello everyone, thank you so much for stopping by my channel again. I wanted to come with you with a Bible journaling process video featuring some watercolors. I asked over on my Instagram if you wanted to watch a watercolor video next or an acrylic painting Bible journaling process video, and the majority went with watercolor. So I'm going to be doing a watercolor process video featuring a printable that I made. I made this drawing and I digitized it, and it will be up on my website. There's no sign up needed. However, if you feel led to sign up, it would be greatly appreciated. So this will be available at the time that you're watching this video. So I am going to be using my Kiritaki Gansai watercolors because I have some Prima and some of the Illustrated Faith watercolor palette. However, they're not as pigmented, and I don't know, I just reach for these more. But let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to feature different type of watercolors. Maybe a watercolor set that you have that maybe I can do some journaling with. But for today's video, I'm going to be using the Kuretake Kansai watercolors, and then I am going to be using a size 8 brush and maybe a smaller square paintbrush, probably this one, and this one's a size 6, and it's kind of like a rounded square brush. I may be using these two. So I am going to be trying something different. I'm going to try to do a step-by-step versus doing the voiceover. So this video might be a little bit longer than most of my videos, but any of the areas where I'm not really saying anything, I'll just fast forward that and explain the process as I go. So we'll see how this goes. So let's dive in. Okay, so I picked out a couple colors that I'm going to be using. So if you have this set, I am going to be using, for the leaf parts, I'm going to use number 58 and number 54. So these two shades right here, which is a lighter and a darker shade of green. For the boots, I'm going to be mixing number 57 and 50, which is like a dark turquoise with a lighter mint color, and then I'm gonna mix them, try to see if maybe I can get a nice shade of turquoise. And then for the sunflowers, the inner part, I'm going to be using a couple of shades of brown, which is the 46 and 47 down here. So some of these I used in the geometric lion printable video, and I used 44, which is up here, which is like a yellow orange, and then I'm using number 42, which is bright yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the background. I might do a very, very faint blue color. I might do this one just very diluted, but we'll see how that turns out. So let's get started. I am going to put the printable below, and I'm going to secure it with some washi tape. So I just folded it. You can cut it. If you're good with editing, you can size it down to fit to your 2-inch margin. If you have the interleaved Bible, you can use the whole page, and you can use acrylics. Again, on this one, the only reason I'm doing watercolors is for practice, and also because it was requested.
Okay, so initially this was going to be a step-by-step tutorial, but when I got done editing, it was still very long. It was about 50-minute long video, and I don't know, not everybody has 50 minutes to spare to watch a video, so I opted to change it up and do it back to voiceover. So maybe once I get a little hang of the setup of doing that step by step while filming and maybe cut my time down, I will do those type of videos. So anyways, going to the painting here, so all I did is I put the printable, and I'm starting off with the turquoise colors and the light mint color, and I mixed them to make the shade here. So all I'm doing is adding some color. So I opted not to use a pen or a pencil to outline the image. I decided to just use my watercolors and just draw out the images like that. So I grabbed that color, slapped that onto the boot area. Now, because I'm not using any lines, there's no line defining the two boots. So what I did is I added darker coloring on the inner portion of where the boots meet. So that line straight down. Now you can leave a little gap and just leave the white showing through. I decided that I liked them closer together, so I left a very faint white line at the top and then darker towards the inner bottom part. But if you kind of did this, and it didn't work out, you can always use like a white pen and then draw a line down to define the two boots, or just draw it out, or use an archival pen to do that. So I moved on to the sunflowers, and all I did is I grabbed that same brush that I've been using since I started the video that I showed you. I believe I said it was a size 8, and I am grabbing that first yellow color as my first layer for this image, and then I am starting from the bottom to the top. So where that circle is, I'm starting at the bottom and then adding pressure to make the petal wider, and then kind of releasing that pressure as I am going towards the top to make that point. Does it work 100% of the time? No, it does take practice. So sometimes I wanted to go faster and I got more of a square petal, but I was okay with that. I really wanted this to look like loose watercolor, kind of like a no line watercolor image on here. And I've seen some really cool sunflowers where they just look really messy and kind of welted a little bit, and it looks really cool. So I am adding this second layer, which is that yellow orange color, and I am doing the same thing I did the first time around, but concentrating that towards the center or the down portion of that petal, just to create, I don't know, depth and more interest and more realism to my sunflower. And what I did to blend the color is I would go in with a damp brush with no color, and then do the swipey motions of doing the petal motion without any color, just to blend those colors together. Next, I went in with that brown red color towards the center of my sunflowers here, and you can totally skip that. I just wanted a little bit, again, of interest and realism to the sunflowers. So I added that color first, then I went in with the darker brown, but diluted the color a little bit by adding more water, so I get more of an actual brown. And then I switched my brush to this small tipped brush and then added dark little dots in the center, just to give it more interest and more of that realistic center of a sunflower. So next I went with my lighter shade of green watercolor, and I am doing these leafy parts of the image in that color, and I'm just tracing. I'm not really doing anything. As I'm filling in the leaf that you see now, I am making sure not to fill in the full leaf, And this is just preference, you don't have to do that, but I just thought it would give it a nice effect, and I left that as if it was like a curled, I don't know, just like a leaf. So I just wanted to leave that line in the center. You can totally skip that. So I did change the color to the darker shade to make that second leafy branch. And I'm just kind of switching back and forth just to give the arrangement different green parts, so it's not all one color. So these more heart-shaped leaves, I am making the darker shade and then adding details of the veins of the leaf in that lighter shade once I dried it. And the squiggly kind of just straight, well, not straight, but like squiggly leafy strings that you see there, all I did was I followed the printable, and I started from the flower or from the center down, and again doing that pressure and then releasing it to get that nice point at the end of the leaf. So there really isn't much work to this because it's not freehand. So if you follow the printable, it's really easy to see and really easy to follow. Basically, just draw it out and then you can fill it in with some color. So I opted to go with this light shade of blue. I diluted it quite a bit because I wanted it super faint, super subtle in the background. I didn't want it to compete with the colors in the arrangement and the booth. So that's why I wanted this to be really, really light.
So I'm pretty much done. I just need to add my title up here, and then down here I'm going to highlight the furs with some of the watercolor, the yellow, and this is going to be John 14:27, where it says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Don't let your heart be troubled or fearful." So I liked that verse particularly because I had already made this printable like not last week but the week before, and this past week my family from Texas was visiting me, and I was feeling a little sad and a little gloomy, so I just needed to come and Bible journal and kind of get my mind off of the sadness and the fact that I miss my family and we're apart. So I was thinking of a verse that I could use this to kind of just meditate on God's word, and I stumbled upon that verse, and um, how he tells the disciples, that he's leaving peace with us, and um, don't be troubled or have fear. And so that just kind of spoke to me. And so journaling this today has really been giving me peace and just kind of resting in the fact that he gives me peace to overcome all that sadness that comes with whenever you feel that certain way. I don't know how to explain it in words. I just know what I feel. I felt very sad, and I wanted to not feel that way, and I just gravitated towards Bible journaling. And it's this whole time doing this and talking, giving you step-by-step tips and stuff on how to illustrate this has really helped me today. So anyways, that is the verse. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. I'm using the number 42, and I'm trying to get it more water than pigment so that it doesn't cover the words. So I'm just lightly grabbing some and grabbing water. So I'm going to do there we go. Okay, so to finish off, I just added to my title gift of peace, and I did some writing on here, just the date right down here, and then I thought it was still looking a little plain, so I added the colors that I used for the illustration here around. So I used number 50, I used number 42 and number 57 to do these little dots all around the page here. So that is it for this tutorial. I know this is a longer video than I am used to putting out. Just a quick reminder, you can pick up this printable at my website, mommywithahobby.com, and I will leave that link to grab this free printable on the description down below. So comment if you have any questions or any suggestions that of supplies you would like to for me to use. Comment down that below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that you like these type of videos and would like to see more. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe by clicking that subscribe button down below. And I hope to see you again on the next video. Bye bye.